I can't be the only one that thinks this is a little weird. So I told everybody that William Shatner is going to Antarctica this December. He'll actually be there the day after the people that are involved in the final experiment leave Antarctica. Interesting coincidence. Now, it makes sense to me that William Shatner wants to go to Antarctica because he's 93 years old and he's checking off bucket list items that he'd like to do before he moves on. But now Neil deGrasse Tyson. So all of a sudden, I find out last week, this popped up out of nowhere, that Neil deGrasse Tyson is also going to Antarctica this December. Watch this.
I learned recently that there's a trip, a boat planned to go to Antarctica at the end of this year, deep in December. That's winter for we Northern Hemisphere folk, middle of the summer for anybody south of the equator. Well, there's a boat going, and I noticed it's in celebration of William Shatner. Yes, that William Shatner. William Shatner. And the man is 93, 94. So I'm looking at it. I said, that'd be fun to go on that cruise. And so then I got invited. Never been to Antarctica before.
Notice he's kind of surprised how this kind of seems to have come out of nowhere for him. What does this mean? Now, I know there's going to be crazy conspiracies trying to say that somehow I'm involved with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and people can come up with whatever ideas they want. I've never met the man, so I don't know. But why Neil deGrasse Tyson? William Shatner makes sense. I mean, granted, he's everybody's favorite astrophysicist, Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's a joke. I know how much flat earthers do not like Neil deGrasse Tyson and the beef that's gone on over the years. But this might surprise you. I think it's assumed that Globers just reject all conspiracy theories. Well, I don't. I can be a bit conspiratorial. So I'm going to tell you a thought that I'm having. All right. I'm going to show you that I can come up with a conspiracy theory as well. Now, this conspiracy theory has no evidence. So we're not off to a good start, but conspiracy theories have to start somewhere. And then you see, I guess, where the evidence leads. I think it's peculiar, first, that William Shatner is going to Antarctica at almost the same time as the final experiment, but I do think that is just a coincidence, a happy coincidence. Is that what Bob Ross used to say? But now Neil deGrasse Tyson, somebody who has been very vocal against flat Earth, while at the same time being unwilling to engage flat earthers, at the same time acting like flat Earth is not a big deal. So this is a crazy conspiracy theory that I've come up with, but I think the flat earthers need to consider it. What if Neil deGrasse Tyson has been following the final experiment? And what if he's noticing that it's difficult to nail down a flat earther or two to get them signed up to go to Antarctica? And what if he's anticipating, as a lot of people are, that no flat earther will go to Antarctica? You've heard the claims from the globe side. They think that no flat earther would ever go to Antarctica because it would refute their beliefs. And if they're grifting, end their grift. That is what the globe side is saying. I don't believe that. Okay, I don't believe that at least about Jaron Campanella and Austin Whitsitt. What if this whole thing where Neil deGrasse Tyson is now going to Antarctica this December with William Shatner is an opportunity that he's looking for? So here's my conspiracy theory. My conspiracy theory is that he's going to go on the assumption that no flat earther is going to go to Antarctica with the final experiment. And he's going to state that he's been to Antarctica now and he's seen the 24-hour sun with his own eyes. See the problem? If you don't, the problem is very clear. You're going to have a man who despises flat Earth go to Antarctica knowing full well that flat earthers had the opportunity to go to Antarctica for free and see what the sun does and take advantage of that opportunity and state, hey, I saw the 24-hour sun with my own eyes. What excuse or rebuttal would you have against him? You wouldn't. And he knows full well if you turn down a free trip to Antarctica, he's got you for good. Because you can't come back at him and say, no, you didn't, nuh-uh, because you weren't there. And he knows full well you could have been there, and you don't have an excuse to not go because you could have gone for free, or you could have attempted to crowdfund or something. And so this makes me a little nervous. If, again, this wild conspiracy that I came up with is true. And so I want to emphasize something that flat earthers seem to be missing. Most flat earthers out there are making me the enemy. They're demonizing me. I'm not the enemy. Just stop for a minute and set aside the fact that I'm a glober. Just because someone disagrees with you doesn't mean they're the enemy. I set up something, the final experiment, that I think has never been done before, which is the most fair and the most unbiased situation imaginable. I've eliminated the money aspect, which could have discriminated against people or flat earthers. And I've invited both sides. And now we're in a position where I'm offering to pay for 2 flat earthers to go to Antarctica and not just one. Please, flat earth community, I beg you, do not allow this to become a situation where people are going to be able to just claim that they saw a 24-hour sun with their own eyes, and you can't refute it. You can't respond because you turned down the opportunity to go. Again, please don't take what I'm saying out of context, and please don't say that I'm saying something I'm not. I have zero evidence of this. It just hit me. I'm very focused on Antarctica. I'm very focused on the final experiment. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, last week, Neil deGrasse Tyson is surprised that he's now being invited to go to Antarctica this December. It's weird. And they've invited someone else to go with Neil deGrasse Tyson. And I'm going to save that for next week. But that makes it even weirder. And that makes the conspiracy theory even more plausible. And I want to show you one more clip of Neil deGrasse Tyson, because if this conspiracy theory is true, he's already started laying the groundwork for it. Check out what else he said.
And especially Antarctica, deep in the Antarctic Circle, where the sun don't set that time of year.
You hear that? He's already laying the groundwork that there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica where the sun doesn't set, so that all of this can just be seamless. He makes the prediction. It's what the globe says has to happen. Then he goes to Antarctica and he tells the world, we saw a 24-hour sun. William Shatner tells the world, before I died, I saw a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Now, I believe there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, but I'm going to figure out for sure. I created the final experiment so that we can know for sure, so that we no longer have to believe people just in case they're lying. This is a great opportunity for a man like Neil deGrasse Tyson to lie to everybody, especially if flat earthers don't go. And so you need to consider this. Again, I'm conspiratorial. I don't mind a good conspiracy, but there's got to be evidence for it. And this doesn't have any evidence yet, but it's starting to look interesting. And I just wanted to make everybody aware of it. So take that for what it's worth. And yeah, we'll see what happens. And we'll also see you all next week. Bye-bye.